Hey everyone, I'd like to share what I've learned about countering the fried liver attack. And what I'd like to do first is just show you a successful version of the fried liver to see how it works. So since we're countering it, we'll look at this from Black's perspective. So if we do the typical E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, and then the indication that the fried liver is coming is bishop C4. What white wants to do is move his knight here and then here. And what that will mean is that since it's protected by the bishop, the knight will fork the rook and the queen, winning material. So if there are now normal developing moves like knight F6, and then see, actually, you can continue with the fried liver attack right here. This is the successful version. Let's say that Black does a normal developing move like this, and here comes white in, forking the rook and the queen. And there's no way to stop it. The king can't take the knight because the bishop protects it. So let's just say the queen moves to safety so it doesn't get lost. White takes the rook. That's the fried liver in action, and that's it working. Now, a couple of ways to defend it: E4, E5, knight F6, knight F3, knight C6, and then here's the indication that the fried liver is coming. One way to stop it, you could do your normal developing move, and then here we come in for the fried liver. You can use your pawn to D5 to stop it. And if white takes the pawn, you can attack, you can move to A5, attacking the bishop. And if the bishop moves to safety, puts you in check, you can stop it like this. And then if you just continue playing. And if for some reason white decides to take here, then you just take the bishop and the game goes on. So that was one way to stop it, by making this move here, by making this move here to block it. So that just blocks it. If you want to get a little bit more interesting, something else you can do, it's E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, and the indication that the fried liver is coming, bishop to C4. One way to stop it is you can move your knight to C5. The knight can't make the move yet because then the queen could just take it. So we have a normal developing move of knight C3, and then if Black brings his knight to F6, and an attempt at the fried liver happens here, one thing you can do is just castle. So now that the knight and the bishop are out of the way, you can castle, and the fried liver just doesn't work now. Let's say you come in here, you can just take, and you're up material at that point. But if we drop back, instead of castling, so the knight comes in, and instead of castling, you can now put the king in check. Instead of castling, you can do bishop F2 to put the king in check. And if the king takes the bishop, you can put the king in check again. And if the king runs and hides, you can now take the knight. And you're in a good position here. The one thing that I'm not sure of, and maybe if somebody can help me in the comments, what happens if you put the king in check like this and the king doesn't take? Then what? The king moves there. You can now castle out of danger here, like we discussed before. Now there is no fork if the knight were to move to F7. But now that you castle, the king takes the bishop and you're down material. So are you just hoping that the king originally takes here so you can put it in check and win the knight? Because if the king doesn't take, you do this and the king goes here, it looks to me like you're just going to lose material. So those are some of the ways to defend against the fried liver attack. And then if somebody can help me, what happens if the king just doesn't take here, but instead steps aside? That's it. Thanks. Here's the fish.